Hello everyone. Today I have a quick little bonus video for you all that involves these two models sitting in front of you here, the Rapido Y7 and Rapido J52, both of course made by Rapido. Now, I had some issues with both of these two models. I'll start here with the Y7 since that's actually the model I was first having issues with. So I bought this locomotive about a year and a half ago, I would say. And it was quite a nice little model. The only thing I really don't like about it is that, well, there's two things actually I'll say that I really don't like about it, both of which I picked up in my review. The first is that it is an all plastic construction, so it is very lightweight. Like, I know this isn't a fair comparison here, but compared to the J52, which I say it's not a fair comparison because the J52 is much larger, but also the part that's larger on the J52 is cab, which is not metal. But the J52 has a die-cast running plate and die-cast saddle tank, and it's much, much heavier. Like, there is a lot more weight in this than this, because this thing's all plastic, and I just feel that it feels a bit cheap for what is actually quite an expensive 040 tank engine. And most other 040 tank engines on the market are cheaper than this model, and they are also mostly made of metal, so just a bit of a thought I have on that. So not a huge fan of that, but it's not a huge deal. It can pull a decent sized load for, like, compared to what this thing would normally pull. It's perfectly fine in that sense. I just feel like it feels a little bit cheap. The other thing I don't like is you can't really see it here because I've got this screw in the way for the front coupler, but underneath this screw there is a little clip that releases the body, which you need to undo for DCC fitting. And there's these screws here along the sides of the tanks on both sides. The screws I don't have an issue with, but that clip is a bit hard to dislodge, and I'm personally not a big fan of how that was designed. I don't really understand why they couldn't have just put a screw there, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, and honestly, if the only bad things I have to say about a model is that it's a little bit plasticky, for what I paid for it, and that it is got a clip on it to hold the body on, you're not really doing that bad. But anyways, that's just a little mini review on the model. I've got a full review on the model that I'll put a link to in the description. Um, so yeah, it's a decent little model, but I do just have one or two little niggles with it. But you know, it's fine. Um, so like I said, I this thing ran perfectly fine for a little while, and until a point, I had an issue where I was trying to remove the body of this loco, and I accidentally undid the wrong part, and also I was trying to service the wheels, and one of the pickups broke because it uses a weird design of plunger pickups. And both of those I did break myself, and I made that clear to Rapido in an email I sent them asking for a repair request. And I expected I'd have to pay for repairs on it myself. But very fortunately, Rapido first tried to send me the spare parts because I said I might be able to fix it myself, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. So I contacted them again and let it know, and they said that they thought it needed to come back for repairs, and they told me that they would do the repairs for free, which is absolutely amazing. I can't believe that they actually did that, and they even paid for my shipping to send it in there, even though I'm an international customer. And they ended up just giving me a brand new model, without hesitation. They just sent me a brand new model, which is fantastic, and this new one runs absolutely perfectly, as you'll see in a minute. So, no problems there whatsoever. Next up, I want to talk about the J52. This one, I had a little issue with. It was running fine for a while. It's not the smoothest crawler, which is honestly the only complaint I have with this model. It is a beautiful locomotive. The detail on it's gorgeous. It has a die-cast tank and running plate and a big chunky chassis, so it weighs a fair bit for its size. The cab detail's great. It has a firebox flicker. Now, at high speed, it runs very well, but I found when on low speed on analog, it really doesn't run that well, which is unusual because Rapido have a bit of a reputation of producing extremely good running locomotives. That being said, now that I've DCC fitted this, it is a super smooth runner, as I alluded to in the original review of this model I made, which again I'll put in a link to in the description in case you haven't seen it. Um, so yeah, that overall this is a really nice model, but unfortunately I did have a little failure with it where right here, one, I can't remember what side it was. I'll put a picture up in a minute. But basically, one of these coupling rods, or crank pins, sorry, they broke and the coupling rods ended up flying out of position and the wheels came unquartered, which was something I wasn't really able to fix by myself, plus it was still under warranty. So I contacted Rapido and let them know what happened, and they agreed that it was an issue and they needed to repair it. So they had me send the locomotive in. Again, even though I'm an international customer, they paid for my shipping. And they did their repairs to it, and it is back with me now, and it's honestly running better than it did straight out of the box. So I don't know if maybe mine was a little bit faulty just to begin with, but either way, it runs perfectly now. I couldn't be happier with it since I bought this thing as a shunter for running with my LNER stock. And now I have a perfect running loco for my LNER stock, which is great. So I've talked about the issues and how Rapido solved these both. They have great customer service. The communication was great from them. The only thing I have to comment on, and this is not a huge criticism, this is more just feedback for Rapido in case they're watching this video. But they were a little bit, they didn't really tell me when something was coming back. They just kind of sent it out. And I do wish they'd sent me an email letting me know that they'd sent the model back in the mail, just so that I had a bit of an idea of when it was coming. The other thing I want to point out is that when I sent in the Y7, they just completely replaced this model. They didn't repair it because there was too much wrong with it for it to be worth fixing. And I sent it in with a Gauge Master DCC decoder that I'd fitted to it. And they forgot to send the decoder back. I did the same thing with my J52 and they sent it back. The Y7, they forgot to return the decoder to me, but all was good. They just mailed it back to me, didn't charge me anything, admitted their mistake. So I don't have any problems with Rapido's customer service whatsoever, and if you ever run into an issue with your Rapido model, I highly recommend contacting them. And I'm mainly bringing this up just because I've heard some certain people in the community say that Rapido's customer service isn't very good and that they've had problems with contacting them. And I'm just here to say that, from my experience, that is not true and that Rapido are a very reputable company and happy to help you with any issues you have with their models. So I couldn't be happier with Rapido and their customer service. I think they're making great models, and I'm so glad they're making such obscure prototypes. Obviously, the J52 had been made in 00 by Hornby many years ago, but this is a bang up-to-date model and it looks fantastic. The Y7 had never been done in 00, and who knows if we would have ever seen it if Rapido hadn't have made it. I also have the Jones Gibbs from them. That's another great model of such an unusual prototype. And I have a D40 on order from them as well, which again is a bit of an unusual prototype, and it's a model I've wanted to see in 00 for years. I can't wait for it, and knowing how good these other models I have from Rapido have been, I'm sure it'll be a very nice model when it comes out. Sorry for the random cut there. My camera ran out of storage, and I don't feel like filming all of that all over again. But anyways, as I was about to say, that's all I have to say about these two models here and my service I've had from Rapido. So now I'm going to get these both down onto the track just to show you that they're now running, and very well may I add. As you can see down on the track here, the Y7 now runs very well at slow speeds, and it can run well without jerking around at all. So Rapido did a fantastic job fixing this. Now switching over to the J52, as you can see as well with this model, it is also now running exceptionally well. It runs well both at high speeds like it did before, and as you'll see in a minute, it now runs well at slow speeds. I'm inclined to think mine was slightly faulty. I am now running it on DCC, But before on analog, it wasn't running as well, about the same as before, at least at a crawl anyway. But on DCC, this engine's now able to do a fantastic slow speed, and I am very happy with that. Right, so as you can see in those clips, these two models are running very well. And Rapido did a great job repairing these, and I'm very happy with the customer service I received from them, and I can highly recommend them as a company. Anyways, that's all I've got for today's video. So thank you for watching. Be sure to ever contact Rapido if you ever have a problem with their models. They're always more than happy to help, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.